Yes. Oh. We love the opening applause. We do. That's the best way of saying what you're really thinking, which is, we'll see. So, yeah, let's talk about it. I'm sure you have questions. Looking at me, you're like, what is this dude? Dominican? Part Puerto Rican? What's happening? Nobody? Nobody? Anybody guess white? Anybody do that? It's closer. The actual answer is extremely white. I'm so white that when it snows, I go outside and I'm like, it's time for sports. It's pretty white. It is. And I don't bring up my heritage that often because I'm white. I don't know if you've ever been around somebody trying to work white heritage into a conversation, but that can get awkward quickly. Because it's either boring or horrific. One of those two things. Because white people, we have done a few things to a few groups of people historically over time. You know, not all the bad things, but maybe enough to round up. Like, I'm part Irish. That's not the worst. They just hate each other. That's contained. I'm also part Dutch. They invented stuff. Windmills, that was awesome. Slave trade, that was a terrible follow-up to windmills. It was. I'm also part German. Forget what they did. Right? No, of course not. Nobody forgets what they did, right? Wrong. There are people who forget what they did. And I call those people Germans. Yeah. I say that because I once told that joke to a crowd, and in the crowd there was a German couple, and as soon as I said the word German, they wooed, which is a terrible idea if you're German. If you're German, your number one rule socially should be wait. Just wait to hear which German topic is being discussed, you know? Maybe it's cars. You're a winner. It wasn't cars. But they were excited. They're like, we are Germans and we like to celebrate it. I'm sorry, that's my German accent, that's all. Some of y'all are like, why so much sass? I don't know, I'm not sure. I feel like it might be my body trying to correct history, you know, just take the worst period of all of humanity and just make those into the happiest people, you know? We just want to go to the clubs and dance, play the Bee Gees. It's weird, it's weird. I actually am an actor, and sometimes my agent will call me up and she'll be like, we have a German role we want you to audition for. And they're always like tough dudes, alpha males, mean guys. And I always have to ask her, is he at all, you know, whimsical? Because I feel like I'm bringing a lot of that to the table right now. I do. They're always like soldiers or prison guards. I would make a terrible German prison guard. I would. Just get your tushy into the cell. Is it comfy? Make it your own. Call it mine comfy. It got dark at the end. I know. I saw that. Yeah, it did. But that's my heritage. That is my heritage. Does that make me a bad person? No, it does not. But I have to acknowledge facts. I look racist. I do. I'm not, but I understand how one might make that assumption. I do. My friend back home told me, he's like, Jason, you can't even say the word black, not with a mustache. You say African American every time, or it's offensive. Like, if you go to the movies, it's not in color, it's an African American and white for you. That's how deep this goes. And in fairness, I look like this because I'm from Texas. Yeah, this is what hours of wearing a football helmet in extreme heat will do to your head. And I'm hardcore Texan. 6th generation Texan. Yeah, if you're more Texan than me, you are Mexican. That's, yeah. That's... That's a historically accurate joke, folks, so if you didn't laugh at it, learn from it. And one of the perks of being from Texas is people love to stereotype. Like, I have been told more than once that I look like an extra from a tornado film. I don't know if you've picked up on that. And that's fair, because yeah, you know what? I'm a connoisseur of barbecue. You know what else? Can't spell the word connoisseur. I can't. That's solid stereotyping. Some people think Texans are stupid. Yeah, we are. Yeah. My best friend growing up was afraid of prisms. Man. Thought they were devices that could turn light gay. I'm not proud of that at all. I wasn't much better. For most of my childhood, I thought French people and vegans were fictional characters from literature, so we were dumb. We were dumb. But I get it. People are gonna judge me based on how I look. That's cool. I should probably, since I'm a man in the entertainment industry, take a moment real quick just to make sure that this performance is consensual. Yeah, things have changed. Times are different. Yeah. I mean, not for me specifically. Anyway, I'm just an average looking dude. I have absolutely no game, and I wear shoes that make people think I have spinal problems. So, I'm pretty low on the threat spectrum. I get it. I travel all over doing comedy, or at least that's what I like to tell people, because it sounds better than I fly Spirit Airlines all the time. Yeah, for those that aren't clear on this, Spirit Airlines is the air travel equivalent of trying to figure out which hotel you're gonna stay at, and then just going camping. It's sky camping, is what it is. And I like Spirit Airlines, because they're like, we get it, you're poor. And you don't even have to fly them to know that. If you go past their gate in an airport, it looks like a refugee camp. It does. There's kids running around in Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl champion t-shirts. People warming themselves to lithium-ion battery fires. I may have seen a woman give birth. She had a kid. It was swaddled. I don't know if she gave birth, but I do know that she got right back up and went to work as our gate attendant, and that's what I love about Spirit. I do. Some of y'all are laughing, and some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about right now. That's because you've been in the nice part of the airport. Yeah, you've been in the part with the bistros and the Frappuccino places. Guess what? There's other parts of the airport where the food's not as good. And then eventually, there is no food. Then you get to a part where you think, you know what? I'm pretty sure the airport just ended. Keep going. Because that's where Spirit is. Yeah. They got food there. It's just a dude in a taco cart. Not sure if he's licensed. He might be on our flight. Nobody really knows. But at that point, we don't even care, because we're just a community of people who in about an hour are going to be up in the air looking around at each other thinking economically this should not be possible. And that's what I love about Spirit. It is a community of people. You don't get that on other airlines. You've seen the videos. People fighting with each other, people punching the back of other people's seats. You know when a Spirit flight lands, everybody applauds. That's a nice moment. Some because they're glad we landed, and some because they've just never landed before. You're on another airline, somebody runs toward the front of the plane, you're freaking out. Could be an emergency. Somebody runs to the front of a Spirit flight, you look at your neighbor and you giggle, because clearly somebody ate at the taco cart. And the other thing I like about Spirit is that they're honest. They'll tell you, they're like, if you think you can travel cheaper than us, enjoy your drive. Because the rest of the airline industry will lie to your face. They'll tell you you're important, but if you don't have money, you are not. They have those ads, you know, with the dude sipping champagne, sitting in the comfy chair. It says, fly in luxury. You know what it should say? This is not your seat. We think this guy's better than you. They don't even hide it. They call those people first class. That's why they sit in the part of the plane that looks like a limousine. You know what they call you? Group 7. That's why you're sitting in the part of the plane that looks like a bust of Tijuana. But as a consolation, they will let you walk past those people as you get onto the plane, so you can assess how your life went wrong. Because it's all about money. You know, on some airlines, they'll let soldiers, people who fight for our country, board early, but not first. You know who boards first? Group 1, first class passengers. They're like, yeah, sure, you've saved lives, and that's great, but these people, they've saved money, which is also hard. If you're a soldier on Spirit, they'll let you fly the thing. Because you're the best thing to happen to that airplane all week. Even the airport's not made for people without money. Every airport I go to, Shoeshine Booths. I don't understand that at all. I've never been getting onto a plane and thought, you know what would make this trip magical? As if my tootsies were sparkling. I think if it were made for people without money, they would have ironing board booths instead. So I could just walk in and go, look, I just need my mom to believe I have a job when I show up for Thanksgiving. Is that gonna be possible? I gotta be honest, I've never seen somebody getting their shoes shined and felt like they were 100% against slavery. It's just hard for me to watch a human have another human polish their feet and not think that we don't have a different definition of the good old days. But that don't happen on Spirit. They're like, you don't have to shine your shoes to fly with us. This dude right here, not even wearing shoes. I will tell you this, when Spirit tells me to put my phone on airplane mode, I put my phone on airplane mode. I do, because I feel like I might have the power to bring that plane to the ground. That's the low-cost airlines. I don't know how they cut costs. What if it's engine parts? I'm not taking that risk. I don't do that on any other airline. I don't, because they don't have the fear factor. That woman comes by and she's like, put your phone on airplane mode. I'm like, okay, we nod. We both know I didn't do it. I could fix that though. If I was a pilot on another airline, here's exactly how I'd fix it. Start down the runway, start accelerating, get faster, faster, then just slam on the brakes. What the? Who didn't turn off your phone? You almost killed everybody. What? No, what? What? Is that real? I thought that was a trick. Is that a real? What is that, magnets? I just realized that I don't know how phones or planes work. I don't. That right there is an entire group of people who will never not put their phone in airplane mode for the rest of their lives. Because that's how we learn things now as a society. We don't have discussions with people who have differing points of view. We need trauma. That's what we need. It's gotten weird. It has. I know that because I've had to learn about politics. Look at me. I should not be learning about politics. I should be watching sports. But now, I can't tell the difference. I used to think I was too dumb for politics. Now, I'm not sure I'm dumb enough. I'm not gonna lie, when you applaud, it feels like you're saying, we think you're dumb enough. My dumbest friend started posting political stuff, and I asked him, I'm like, do you have any proof of this? And he's like, well, I got a 1,005-word essay. And he sent it to me. I'm like, nope, that's not an essay, that's a meme. And despite what you've been told, a picture's worth does not get to factor into your word count. And I don't care. I don't care what you think, how you vote. That's not important to me. What's important is you just make the world better. Just see need, meet it. If you do that, we'll be all right, you know? I try. Like this year for my grandpa, for his birthday, I bought him a Bluetooth headset. Not because he likes technology. He doesn't. But he talks to himself. Now people just think he's busy. He's just standing there on the sidewalk going, I ain't paying for no mammogram. Which we all know is something he used to say to my grandma on manicure day because he's not good with words. But people walking by him are like, Obamacare's ruining this man's small business. Makes him feel important. That's good. That's what we need. I think the other thing we need to realize is we've got more in common than we think. And the biggest thing we all have in common? Stupidity. Yeah, it's everywhere. Just listen. I heard this the other day. I heard a woman say to her friend, she said, my daughter's 20, going on 21. And I thought, you didn't need that last part. Because most people know how to count. And I get what she was trying to say, because it's based on a similar phrase, but the key to that phrase is you're supposed to have a gap between the ages. That's the part that makes it interesting enough to say out loud. You guys say something like, my daughter's 20 going on 50. That right there, automatically, much more interesting story. You got a college-age daughter who's acting menopausal for some reason? Yeah, I want to hear about this. And the fact is, we're all stupid. Everybody in this room, no matter how brilliant you are, you're stupid at something. If you're out there right now thinking, not me, I'm not stupid, guess what? You're probably the dumbest person in this room. And I say that knowing full well that I'm stupid. I do. And I know that because sometimes I'll go to those restaurants where they read you the specials before they take your order. And I realized recently, I don't think I've ever gotten through a full list of those specials and understood every word that dude said. I always get thrown off by something. Ganache. Come on. That feels made up to me. Bronzino. I think that's a fish, but sounds like a tanning accelerator. Also, it's confusing. Sometimes I get defensive. You said cranberry reduction, and I'm not sure what that means. But I feel like you're gonna bring me less cranberries. That waiter looked at me like I was stupid. And he was 100% correct. He was. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I think we all have blind spots. We gotta figure out ways to learn about other people. Step outside your comfort zone. I did that recently. Went to my first gay wedding. My buddy was marrying his partner. He invited us to come. I didn't know what to expect. My other buddies didn't want to come. He's like, gay marriage will tear apart the fabric of traditional marriage. And you know what? He might have a point. Because we went to that wedding, and it was amazing. It was. I think if you go to enough gay weddings, you may stop going to straight weddings altogether. Because a gay wedding is all of the celebration and revelry of a traditional wedding, but with zero brides. It's so much fun. My whole life I thought I hated weddings. Turns out, I don't like brides. This was a wedding planned by two dudes. It was amazing. The moderator, former wrestling announcer. He's like, who's ready for matrimony? They chest bumped at the altar. I think some of their vows were from Fight Club. I got so excited at one point, I almost spilled my nachos. It was the greatest. It was the greatest wedding experience I've ever had. The best part of the whole thing is it all lasted about the same amount of time it normally takes a bride to walk from the back of the church to the front of the church. I looked at my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't know if we're getting married. But if we do, we're getting gay married. This looks amazing. That's gonna be my special day. I do really have a girlfriend. She's not just a plot device for that last joke. She's great. She likes the mustache. Some of y'all probably can guess why. Yeah, because it forms a barrier to social interaction with other women. That's what it does. I recently did a gig in Vegas, and she told me, she says, remember, what happens in Vegas, not gonna happen to you. Enjoy, have fun. She's great. 4-year relationship. Yeah, we're only 3 years into it right now, but I'm excited for this last year. I mean, She's older, that's awesome. Older women, amazing. More experience, lower standards, that's huge for me. It is. No, I need a woman who grades on a curve. I do. I don't need a woman who's into things, especially if those things include excitement or healthcare, because I can't provide either of those. I just need somebody who looks at me and goes, okay, I'll do it. I've made some mistakes in my life. This is what's available. Just wrap it up. Because I know me. I'm not easy to be with. I'm not. I've been up here a little while. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not 100% sure my fly's up right now. I'm not. That's who I am. It is. Last week, I looked down on my t-shirt and I saw what I thought was a potato chip crumb. And I just ate it. I just ate it. I didn't even stop to think. If I had, I would have remembered. I hadn't had potato chips in well over a week. I don't know what I ate. But it didn't kill me, and suddenly that's become my dietary standard. And she can do it. She can, because she's at the point in her life where she no longer thinks it's supposed to be magical, which is nice. That's a great place to be. It's that point where you can look out and enjoy all the colors of a beautiful sunset, but still know in the back of your mind, most of that's just air pollution. You know, you spend your whole youth chasing rainbows and unicorns, and you get older and you realize rainbows come after storms, and that unicorn is probably just a horse with a tumor, but that's okay. Because it's real. And real is messy sometimes, it is. But it's also great. Like, I don't have to pretend like I used to when I was younger to like stuff like dancing. Ooh. It's gonna come as a huge shock to y'all, but I am a terrible dancer. My friends in college who saw me dance gave me the nickname Bambi. Because my legs were all wobbly at first. And by the end, everybody just wanted to shoot my mother. That is a weird place to applaud, but okay. No, but I couldn't be with younger women. I couldn't. I don't have that kind of stamina. I've seen guys who date younger women, they all look tired. And it's not from physical either. It's from all that hope. Hope will exhaust you. It will. Just every single day, just today's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be fantastic. Oh no. Is it, or is it just gonna be Wednesday? Maybe it's just gonna be Wednesday. You should probably get a job or something. And I don't have anything against young people, I don't. They have different priorities, that's okay. They like excitement, which is great, unless you also want longevity. Because those two things in nature are opposing forces. If something's gonna last a long time, it can't be constantly exciting. In nature, if something is constantly exciting you, guess what? It's trying to kill you. I'm not saying it can't be great, it's awesome. At the beginning, when you're giddy and you can't sleep, but if that lasts, it's called insomnia. That's a health crisis. And things that are exciting aren't generally built to last. Like roller coasters. Those are exciting, right? How'd you like to ride one of those to work every morning? You just stop going to work after like a week and a half. You're like, I don't know why there's a loop-to-loop in the middle of my commute. That's just stupid. Why does it go backwards at the end? I'm 2 minutes from work, suddenly I'm 4 minutes from work. I just get to work angry every day and covered in coffee. And young people have different feelings. They think love is about the heart, which is great. I hear this all the time. I just gotta go with my heart. But when you get older, you realize that phrase, going with your heart, that's just a fancy way of saying, I don't feel like thinking so much right now. You get to a certain age, that thing you're feeling in your heart might be love, but it might be an arrhythmia. So you should probably check that out first. But that's not what love is about. Love's not about the magic, you know? If you're like me, you learn about love from the movies. I thought when I started dating, I thought I'm gonna meet the woman of my dreams, fall in love at first sight, go off and set the world on fire together. Sounds beautiful. When you get older, also stupid. I mean, come on, setting the world on fire, that's technically arson. That's a felony. You know what kind of love that leads to? Prison love. That's not what I'm looking for. Love at first sight. I don't know if I even believe in that. My girlfriend wears glasses. She literally no longer has first sight. How's that gonna work for us? It'd be a miracle if she could read at first sight. I don't believe in love at first sight because I grew up poor in Texas. And you know what a skinny man with a mullet looks like from behind? Looks like a hot woman. That's what it looks like. You make that mistake one time, love at first sight is off the table forever. But love is really about real practical things. It's about conflict resolution, and my girlfriend and I were great at that because we disagree on almost everything. We disagree on food because she's a vegetarian, and I am, like I said, the opposite of that. I'm a Texan. Yeah. In Texas, we believe it's fine to kill any animal for food, except a stork, of course, because we do consider that abortion. Pretty sure that's in the Bible, guys. Pretty sure it is. But here's what she does that bothers me the most. She compares her food to meat. And not just any meat. Bacon. The most glorious of all the meats. For those that aren't clear on this, bacon and ham come from the same animal, which makes me disappointed in ham. He's like, come on, ham, just get your act together. Just do something with your life. Maybe someday you'll be bacon also. Just focus. My girlfriend's like, I won't eat anything with a face on it. I'm like, I don't either. I cut the face off. I eat the bacon part. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure it's not the face meat. I don't know where it comes from on the pig. I don't. Maybe the soul, because it tastes like magic. You know, in order to make bacon, you have to cure it, which means it was sick once and now it's bacon. So that's a miracle right there. You just cook it and it gets smaller and more powerful, like an Italian mother or a Korean dictator. It's an amazing food. And she's like, you need to respect my opinions. And I'm like, you need to have better opinions. That would help this a lot. Because that's true, there's a huge difference between the taste of bacon and what a vegetarian thinks bacon might taste like. Right? That's like me as a man comparing any pain on my body to giving birth. Right? Women, the pain and stress you go through, just, that's exactly how much taste there is in bacon. Thank you guys very much. Y'all been great tonight.